Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. How are you? I do hope you're all well. It's lovely and sunny here in Dublin, and I do hope some of you are going to be here to join me a bit later. Oh, sorry, not the computer. There we go. So my name's Sam Blake, for those of you who don't know, and this week is launch week for The Dark Room, which is my new thriller. It is my second standalone and my fifth book. I've written the three Cat Connolly books that are up here behind me here. They're Garda procedurals, all about a Garda detective called Cat Connolly. And The Dark Room is set in West Cork. It is about a mysterious country house called Hare's Landing. And today I was going to talk to you a little bit about the plot for the book, but then of course I realised that if I talk too much about the plot, obviously there's going to be a ton of spoilers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about plotting, I suppose. And to tell you a little bit about that. The whole idea of this week is that I'm giving you a little bit of an insight into writing the book. And I'm also doing a lovely giveaway for a hair tile, which I will show you just now. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, watch everything fall off my desk. There you go, that's the back of it. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous, from Mel Chambers? I'm going to put a link into her website in the comments in a second. So yeah, plotting this book, The Dark Room. Originally, the idea came to me, I think I talked about this on Monday. Literally, I was sitting on a beach in Helford Passage in Cornwall, very close to where Mel Chambers, who made the tile, lives. And I came up with an image of a woman running along a beach, followed by a dog. And between one thing and another, various elements came together, and I came up with the idea for this house called Hare's Landing, and that I sort of started to think about what this girl's story could be. And her name was Caroline Kelly. But I needed more than one person in the story. And also, when you write crime, one of the key things is obviously there has to be a crime. So I was having a good old think about how that could come about. When I'm thinking about a new story, I often start with the crime because obviously that's really the core of the book and what it hangs on. And so it's very much a case of thinking about what happened and how did it happen and who perpetrated it. And how did the actual logistics of the crime itself occur? Hi, Margaret. Thanks very much for joining me. There's a bunch of you here. Thank you. So thinking about exactly how the crime happened, but also who perpetrated it and why. Because motivation for characters is really, really important. I spoke yesterday a little bit about the characters who are in the dark room. I'm just going to move my screen slightly so you can see my pictures in the background. This picture actually is a picture of Helford by Lynn Mackay. It is literally the trees just above our house, and then above me is a picture by Rachel Painter, who is also an artist working in the area, and they're very similar trees across the river. It's very, very distinctive. I think it must be the way the wind goes down the river that the trees end up with a very distinctive pattern. So yeah, sorry, back to character. I'm going off with a tangent, and plot. So it's all about, for me, character and the way the crimes are crafted. It's all about the motivation of the killer. It's why somebody does something and how it comes to pass. And I'm not really into writing very gory books, very bloody books at all. All my crimes are quite gentle, I suppose, sort of, if you could say that. But I think often they can be more scary if there's more going on in your mind as a reader than me putting it all on the page. And so I suppose that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create the tension and trying to keep you reading, keep you hooked, so that you really need to know what happens. Hi, Patricia. Lovely to see you as well. Thank you. And books are arriving in the post. That's brilliant. It's not officially published until tomorrow, but there are books arriving as we speak for people who've ordered them. Thank you so much. And do pop up pictures on social and I can share them. So that's great. Yeah, so going back to plotting, it's a case of, I started off with the girl on the beach and I came up with the idea of Hare's Landing. And then it was a case of thinking about the various crimes that had happened. And actually, I ended up with quite a few in this book. I can't go into too much detail because I think they would be spoilers. But basically, Caroline and Rebecca arrive in Hare's Landing and they discover Rachel's there. She knows she's there to investigate a mystery. She's there to investigate a guy called Alfie Bowes, who is a homeless guy. She wants to know about his background and what caused him or forced him to become homeless. And she believes that she's going to get more information in Hare's Landing, this place that he's mentioned. So that's why Rachel's there, and obviously Caroline's there because she needs a break. But the two of them come together and the mystery starts. When I was sitting and the idea came to me, I was literally only a couple of 100 yards from Frenchman's Creek, which is obviously the title of Daphne du Maurier's book. And Rebecca, for me, anybody who knows me and has seen posts and stuff from me in the past knows that I'm mad about Rebecca. It's one of my favourite books of all time. And so I always felt that there should be a very, very strong sort of du Maurier influence in one of the books I wrote. And I think this might be it. So when I came up with the idea of Hare's Landing, I had Mandalay very much in the back of my mind. But I collect first edition Rebecca's, and I thought I'd just show you a couple. That's a very, very old one. That is, I think, it was probably originally published in 1938, and this is a 23rd imprint, I think, from 1941. Yeah, March 1941, 23rd impression. There we go. And this one is an American edition. There we go. That came out. Again, first edition. This is Gollancz one. I think they published in America. And looking up for my Doubleday, sorry, Gollancz. Can you see that? There we go. That's the introduction page, preliminary information there. So Doubleday published Rebecca in America, and Gollancz published in the UK. And I'm just passionate about the story. I love it, and I love du Maurier's influences and the way that she writes. And so I've tried to bring that to the dark room. So I've tried to make it very atmospheric and try to bring that sense of foreboding and the darkness and the trees. Anybody who's read Rebecca will recognise elements in the story, as well as the house. There is a housekeeper called Mrs. Travers, who is very similar to Mrs. Danvers, you might be familiar with. But also there's something hidden that only real, I think, Rebecca aficionados will catch. And that is Jasper, who is a very important part of the story. He is Rachel's dog. He's a German Shepherd. And as we discover as the story unfolds, he's an ex-police dog. But he is named after Maxime's dog, Jasper, from Rebecca. So there's another Rebecca link there. And originally I came up with the idea of an ex-police dog. It's something that's very much linked into Helford and into the place where I was sitting when I came up with the idea, because one of the guys who looks after the moorings in Helford, Pete, is an ex-police officer, and he was a dog handler. And so we've had some very lovely and long conversations sitting at the ferryboat inn right on the beach there, chatting about his career in the police and his various dogs and the various things, weird and wonderful things that happened to him. So I felt that a dog, an ex-police dog, had to play a part in one of my stories, and the dark room was the one that Jasper turned up in. So he's a very important part of the story, as you will discover when you get to the end. So yes, but certainly from a plotting point of view, when I'm creating a story like this, there are lots of different storylines, and in the dark room there's obviously Caroline's storyline, which happens in New York. There's Rachel's storyline, which links into Hunter and Alfie Bowes, who is the homeless man. But there's also a storyline about the previous owner of Hare's Landing, Honora, Honora Smith, and she is mysteriously, she dies mysteriously, and so there's an investigation into her. It turns out to be an investigation into what happened to her too. So that's all revealed as well. So there's a lot of different lines of sort of story going on, and it's really a case of bringing them all together. So I plot in quite a detailed way at the start of every book. I literally plot out the chapters. I spend a lot of time thinking about it and working out everybody's backstory, and as I say, working out people's motivation, and then I plot it in some detail, so I know that I've got the core story. I've got enough story, and not too much, as that can happen too, to make sure that it all works together in a book, and the right things happen at the right time. Because if you are weaving storylines together, you need to make sure that the right people hear and see things at the right time, so that it all works together. And then I start writing. Often when I'm actually writing, strange things happen that I didn't expect to happen. And having written that very detailed plan, I go back to it occasionally as I'm writing, but quite often I instinctively know what chapter is going to come next and where I need to go next with the story. And so I will write that part literally next, and move along and keep moving along, and then check back with my chapter plan to make sure that I haven't missed anything or done something in the wrong order. To make sure that it is all going to hold together. But very often characters do things I don't expect, or they say things, or strange things happen. That happens a lot in writing, and it's really important, I think, if the characters are coming through to you in such a strong way that that you listen to them and that you're able to follow the story. And that gives you twists and turns. And if I can't see it coming and I didn't know it was going to happen, then hopefully for the reader, there are some big twists and turns there too, and they will surprise you as well. So some various things are happening at the moment. Let me show you the tile. Today is really the last day to enter the competition for the tile. I'm going to be making the draw tomorrow at lunchtime, so obviously tomorrow morning as well, with Simon True, my agent. And let me just pop. There we go. That's a picture of a tile. I think that's a slightly different one, but that's sent out the link to Mel's alchemy tiles into the comments as well. So for anybody who wants to see what else she does amazing animals, not just hair. She does dogs and cats and trees and beautiful things. And she also works for commission. So if you want to have a beautiful, beautiful bathroom, beautiful tiles made for your bathroom, she can do that, or for a kitchen splashback or anything. She's fantastic. Well, she's made this specially. This is the actual one here. There we go. See how big it is. Move it over so you can actually see it. And it says on the tile, when she believed in herself, miracles happened. So I think it's lovely. It's very significant. I love it for myself, but also it's very significant for my characters in the story. So that's the tile. So do go and look for the pinned post on the Facebook page, just above us or below us, wherever we are now at the moment. And pop it in, like the page, like the post, share it, pop in the name of a book lover, and we'll be doing the draw literally right before we go on air tomorrow. Myself and Stephen. Hi Eve, how are you? Lovely to have you on board. Myself and Simon will be doing the draw tomorrow, so we'll find out who wins. And obviously, I'm going to put a copy of the book in with the package, which will be signed, because it seems silly to send you out a tile and not send you a book as well. So that's happening. And the other thing that's happening that I just made live this morning, see if I can move the hair, is, there we go, the launch of the Darkroom. So official publication is tomorrow, but we've decided to have a launch event because that makes it all more exciting. And the launch event's actually going to be next week, next Thursday evening on the 14th of January. And because of the spooky aspects of the book, don't worry, Chloe. We know. Don't you? Chloe has just joined us from Nova Scotia. I was going to say, we know you might be a little late because your time is completely different. So thank you so much. She's have to give us an update on the election. So the launch is next Thursday, 14th of January, 7:30 p.m. Simon is going to be Master of Ceremonies, and Simon True, and he's going to be looking after the event. He's going to be quizzing me about the Darkroom. I'll be doing a little bit of short reading. And also we have got Andrea Hayes from Virgin Media. A lot of you will be very familiar with her from her TV shows. Dog Tales was the last one. She does the Coming Home for Christmas show, and Animal A&E, and loads of different things. She is going to be coming. She comes to actually all my launches and helps me with all of them. And she's a very good friend of mine. And she is going to be talking to a lady called Tina Barco, who is the founder of Paranormal Researchers Island. Because of the spooky aspects of this book, for those of you, when you get into the Darkroom, you'll discover that there are various spooky aspects. People hear violins and they smell perfume, and doors slam, and various other things happen. And I thought it'd be very interesting to have a chat to a real paranormal researcher about country houses where sort of strange things happen. So Tina is going to be joining us on Thursday evening to chat to Andrea about that. And we're also going to be showing you the long version of the video. Some of you might have seen some of the videos I've been popping into the Facebook page. Basically, I've had a great gang called Exhale Media, a bunch of guys who have made some videos about the Darkroom. We did have a feeling we might be in lockdown and the bookshops might be closed. So in anticipation of that, there's been a whole load of little snippet videos made to give you a teaser of what the book's about. But there's one, a long one, which is sort of like a premiere, proper book trailer, the full thing, which is going to be premiering on Easton's site tomorrow. So for any of you who want to see that, check out Easton's, go like their page now, and that should pop up on yours. And obviously, if you like the Sam, follow the Sam Blake page, it'll be popping up on my page too. We'll be watching. We'll have the whole version of that at the launch too. So I'm really looking forward to it. The ticket link has just gone into the comments there too. There are three types of tickets there. You can, if you've already got the book, then I'm just asking you to make a £3 donation to the Dublin Simon community, because obviously Alfie was a homeless man in the start of the book. And that's the first type. The second one is a £5 ticket, but it is redeemable against the book at easons.com. So you'll get a code by email You can use that code at easons.com to get your £5 back off the book. It just has to be used before the 21st of January, so you need to be quick. So that's the £5 ticket. And then if you want to do both, if you want to donate to Dublin Simon and you want to get your £5 off the book, then there's a ticket at that level too. There's obviously a limited number, but we're doing a webinar format, so it'll be all online through Zoom, and it should be fun. Hopefully there won't be any tech issues. Simon's always laughing at me saying, apologising for tech issues at the start of everything, but it will all be fine. So I do hope that you're going to be able to join me. As I say, the Eventbrite link has gone onto my Facebook page, and it has gone out in the comments there. I'd love to see as many of you as can manage to come. And I do hope you enjoy the book. If you have got copies coming through the post, and I think there's a good few out there, do pop your copy on social media and tag me so I can share it. So thank you very much indeed. That is day 3 of launch week, done and dusted. And tomorrow we are going to be doing the draw for the hair tile. So don't forget. Oops, light shining on it. Go find the post, pinned post, like, share, and pop the name of a book lover into the comments, and then you might win the tile and a signed copy of The Darkroom. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining me.